And here we are, back at the Headwaters Science Center, one of our virtual field trips. You sound a little echoey today, you say. Well, we'll hear if our mic can pick up some of the nuanced sound we have as we look at one of our exhibits here, the sound tube. Now, in the sound tube, what we do is we hear an echo. And the echo is something we've heard when we talk against a canyon and sound bounces back at us. Because we know sound travels outward in one direction, but it also bounces back. So how does this sound tube work? Well, it's about 80 feet long, and my sounds go down this tube, and at the other end there's a piece of plexiglass, which doesn't let the sound out, or at least much of it, and it bounces back. And if you can hear that reverberation, that's about 1/5 of a second delay. And perhaps it sounds like I'm in a huge room, but I'm not. I'm sitting here in the Science Center in front of an 80-foot tube, and my sound is having a reverberating effect. Now, I've said this before, and I love it when my audience goes, you really said that? That the ears can hear faster than the eyes can see. And I hope a lot of you science nuts out there are going, yeah, but Mr. Science Guy, I know that the speed of light is about 1,000,000 times faster than the speed of sound. Why can the ears hear faster? Well, it has to do with how our brain connects to our ears to hear instantaneous information on 2 ears, by the way, and how our eyes sort of put together a larger, about 1/100th of a second, video image of what it's seeing. So it takes time to put that large video image together, whereas the sound image is there immediately. And you'll note this, those of you who played sports before, maybe you'll know that the umpires, especially the base umpires, will sometimes listen for the ball to hit the mitt, because they consider that an instantaneous response, and watch at the same time, so they can get 2 at the same moment. But in fact, they're actually hearing it hit the mitt before they're seeing it hit the base, so tie goes to the runner. Who knows? These things work themselves out. All right, well, how fast does sound go? And the answer to that question is, it depends. It depends on what it's traveling in. Now, most of the sound we deal with travels in the air, and it travels at different speeds in different kinds of air. But in air that's about 20 degrees Celsius, or room temperature, and near about sea level, or upwards of close to 1,000 feet to it or so where we live, it runs about, and I'm going to keep this in miles per hour because that's the language we still speak in this country, around 767 miles per hour. Now, sound needs something to travel in. Does it travel in liquids? And the answer is, oh yeah, it does. Not only does it travel in liquid, but it travels faster in liquid. It travels about 4 to 5 times faster in water than it does in air. So it's really moving, and when you're swimming in the lake or listening in the bathtub, I guess it happens there too, you can hear boats from across the water, and they're getting to you quite quickly. And it travels even faster in solids, like for instance steel. It travels about 13,000 miles per hour. So yeah, somewhere around, what is that, 15, 16, 18 times faster in solid steel than it does in air. So air is actually one of the slowest places it travels, but it's the place we're used to listening to it. So I wanted to demonstrate a couple of sounds in the tube that you can do. Here's one I like, the tearing paper. Rabbits beware. For some reason a rabbit does not like the sound of tearing paper. You freaked out the other day when I pulled that out. All right, I'm going maskless. Kind of cool. All right, let's try this sound. The old drum is one of the better ones. We're getting amplification. We're getting, something else is going on here. We're getting doubled up waves. That's more than just, I'm not sure what's going on. I didn't prepare myself for this. What are we explaining? It seems like we're getting way amplification, more than just a double sound. We'll think about that.
Sound like over here.
We'll get back to you on that one. That one surprised me. I didn't expect that. I expected just a.
Is it the
perhaps
thing
it's
on
the element itself. We're kind of making a. Ooh, there came something. There's a hint too.
Is it the beads on the back multiple times that are causing multiple echoes?
Could be those beads. Oh, well. We'll play with drums another time here and see. We've got more to talk about. We're going to talk about the Doppler effect. Ryan, I'll meet you over there in the other zone. Oh! Peggy just reminded me one of our favorite sounds that we always bring with us is the clap sound. Oh, thanks, Peg. Let's move on. I'll meet you over in the other place, Ryan. Yep. Come on over here. Follow me.
Right behind it. Hi, Earth Phoenix Zoe. How are you today?
So, not only are our ears good at... That's that sheep bunch that used to break all the time. That's why I went and found another batch. Our ears are actually one of our early warning systems. We hear a bang, we hear a boom, we hear a pop balloon. You hear that a lot around here. But let's see if we can pull this off. I'm gonna have Ryan point to this while he's got closed eyes. Yeah, you have your cameraman have closed eyes. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this balloon go, and it's gonna make a sound. And we're going to be able to tell, and Ryan's going to close his eyes. I want him to point to it where it stops making sound. That one was a dud.
You really make me rotate this card around.
Well, you had your eyes open too. That one was a dud. I'm going to have to try another one. I brought 5 balloons. I figured I'd get one of them off there. This was that cheap batch, though, that came from, they weren't as good. Little secret there. So let's see if this one, we'll try that experiment again. Well,
I think we kind of stayed in line, right? It's just way over there someplace.
Over there someplace. So you're doing pretty good. You're pointing in the general direction. Well, how can we tell where things are with our eyes closed? It's because we have 2 of these hanging on our head. And because our ears hear so fast, they know if you're hearing more intensity and more sound occurrence more quickly in one ear versus the other. It's that hearing quickly thing that helps us realize in space where things are. Now, this ear, we talked about this another day. We're just going to show light it. We like our ears. These give us pleasure in so many ways, from music to the sound of each other's voices. And this, again, I'm going to reiterate, my favorite sense organ, because this is a mechanical device, okay? We hear mechanically. All right, well, let's look at what a wave looks like. Hold on to this end there in the part of the camera where you're not. So I wanted to show you what a wave looks like. You got the whole of it in there?
Yeah. Okay.
So you're in a little bit taggy. I knew I'd get you in the show somehow. So with a sound wave, and this is going to lead us into our next chapter. There are certain different ways wave bounces against its next piece, and like that, the wave bounces, but the wave also bounces back. Now, when we're having a conversation, we have waves going in 2 directions. And I want you to talk back at me the other end of this thing, and you always had to show. So what we'll find is that we have waves can pass right on top of each other without being affected. Keep it up, held up. We're in camera. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create the Doppler effect. Now the Doppler effect, yeah, well this is the idea that waves change shape when you change their relative position. So let's accelerate the wave towards itself. And we'll see that if you look, we actually changed the frequency of the wave. Now, why did you move the wave up? Because we have to presume the wave's going to travel at the wave speed, and then we're also pushing it forward with our motion. So, I don't know if we can see it, but top, top. Did you see how the frequency changed a little bit? And that's kind of an idea of a blue shift. So it's top. And you see how we shorten the wave, and we made the, let's look at what a red shift is. So A red shift is where things are, where the wave is moving away from us. And we'll go talk, 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 talk. I don't know if it was easy to see there, but talk, 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 and then we move away and we lengthen the wave. Well, we've seen that. It's kind of a crude demonstration of that, but let's just get that out of the way. So I'm going to show you with these pitchforks. Now, this is what we use before we use digital equipment to tune things up. These are both the key of C. One's going to vibrate at 2048 hertz. I love these. Ryan's going to recognize these frequencies. And the other one's going to be at 1024 hertz. Of course, there's a, well, we'll go on with that. So they're the same note in a higher octave. So let's look at them. Now, I don't know what that ear is hearing, because my ear might hear something very different. The microphone essentially acts like an ear. So I don't know. I hope you guys got a Doppler effect there. So again, to review, I'll try the other one. When objects are moving away, well, for your ear, which is this mic here, it's this. Objects are moving away, they're red shifting. When objects are moving forward towards, you get the blue shift. All right, let's look at it.
Do they still call it red shifting and blue shifting when it's down?
You do, but actually it's just it should be in a higher frequency, because that happens in the electromagnetic spectrum, but we still use it because it's, the definition holds. All right, let's try the lower frequency one. I don't like it. I know when it goes by my ear, it changes into a weird position, and that was, when it goes by my ear, I certainly hear the Doppler effect as that wave compresses and expands. I call it red and blue shifting because the same definition applies, okay? So, you probably are familiar with the Doppler effect when your weatherman comes on and says, oh, Doppler radar is saying this storm is coming at us. Well, that's how the Doppler radar works, either in microwaves or another frequency. Oh, man. All right, give me some sound into this thing, Ryan. How close am I getting there? I'm getting real close to that too. Give me some more open space so I can. So you should hear it as it goes forward. Predict now. What did we listen to? As it moves away, you can hear a change. So if Ryan's ears can hear it, the microphone can probably hear it. You all the way up on volume? All right, maybe we displayed it, maybe we showed it, but we can see these effects in the air because we're doing it in these small and unspeedy waves. Oh my goodness. Oh man, take me out of breath here. Now what does this have to do with the Doppler effect? Well, if you know me by now, you know I'm always trying to stretch things out. And while this isn't clearly the Doppler effect, it does show a relative effect like it. So this is a helium balloon. I'm going to catch my breath a little bit, inhale a little bit of that, and my voice will change. And you probably always wondered, why do you get a Mickey Mouse voice when you inhale helium? Let's see if it works. It works. Let's try it.
You get a Mickey Mouse voice a little. You get a Mickey Mouse voice like that because you get helium in your voice, and then it gets Mickey Mouse-ish.
Oh, it puts you out of breath. There I am back again. You get that voice because sound travels faster in helium. About 3 times faster, in fact. I don't have my exact figure, but somewhere around, wait a minute. I had 3 times faster in helium. I'll stick with that. You can check on my numbers later. It seemed like I had, yep, about 3 times faster. And so because it travels faster, I get that voice like that. Well, what does that have to do with the Doppler effect? Well, in reverse, the pitch goes up when the speed goes up, and the speed of my voice goes up when it's traveling faster through the sound, like when the wave is being pushed by 2 different mechanisms, its own dispersion and something coming forward at it. We hear these sounds, these Doppler effects in the auditory range when it comes to police cars. It changes as it goes by. The train is another famous place where we hear that sound shift, especially under different weather conditions. Sometimes the train sounds like it's right outside our door, but we hear that compression of sound, similar as like what happens when you get a sonic boom. The wave keeps building on top of itself, and then the sonic boom, that happens because you're essentially getting ahead of your own sound. You're expanding and pushing forward even ahead of your own sound, so it's like a double, bang, bang, boom. And that is our virtual trip through the Science Center today. Come back tomorrow. Ryan will have something for you there, something here, something for that.
Couture reading to the rabbit tomorrow, probably.
Couture reading to the rabbits tomorrow. Rabbits? Should we eat the rabbits? Okay. Okay, there we go. Those of you rabbit reading aficionados, you know what you're tuning into tomorrow. Isn't it often Lee on Wednesdays?
It's usually Lee.
So we're going to have Couture reading tomorrow, and we'll have something else going on Thursday. We're going to keep doing this until we run out of film. Oh, we use digits. We're going to have digits to go for a while, so we're going to keep doing this until we run out of ideas, and that should be never.